Everybody, what is going on? The Catch fam. I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight. Hope everyone's having a great weekend and a great Saturday. Hope you guys have enjoyed the two Saturday games that we got today. A lot to go over, some fantasy news, implications from today's games, from Thursday night football, and it's playoffs. So you guys know what we need to do. It's week 16, some live fantasy Q&A, whatever you guys got, start sits, ads, drops. Probably no trade questions, probably not a lot out there on the waiver wire, but whatever we need to do to get you guys ready for the second round of the 2024 fantasy football playoffs, we are here. So let's get into it. It's the holiday season, ladies and gentlemen. Pete is looking festive tonight. I'm setting up my Christmas stuff for the week 17 videos. So my Christmas stuff will start tomorrow. But we got Pete in the house tonight. So what's going on, man?
Not much. It's the holiday season. The NFL stuck us with two games with, real implications for fantasy and real football. And then we got college football playoffs. It's a lot of football. Hopefully everybody started Derrick Henry today and did not sit him for, whoever.
Yeah, I got way too many questions about potentially benching Derrick Henry. And I know the last time he played the Steelers, I think he had 11 points off the top of my head. Not a great matchup on paper. He had 10.5 points. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is the perfect example of why you got to roll with your studs, right? But please tell me you guys did not bench Derrick Henry. Mark Andrews, too. Got a lot of questions about Mark Andrews. Keep rolling with Mark Andrews no matter what, right? I mean, he's had a touchdown in every game except for 2 since week 6. He's been on fire. Nonetheless, hope you guys are doing great. And we're going to hop into some fantasy Q&A tonight before we get into the rest of week 16's action. In terms of news, let's just roll through this real quick. Tank Dell has suffered a dislocated kneecap. Great touchdown grab. Amazing that he scored the touchdown with everything that happened, although I guess it was at the very end of the play. Friendly fire there, and it definitely looked bad. Hope he is okay and can bounce back from this quickly. We will find out, but obviously Tank Dell will be out for the remainder of the fantasy season. Justice Hill headed to the locker room, middle of tonight's game against the Steelers. We'll see what that looks like and if he's going to be an option moving forward. If you need Justice Hill on your roster or not, it will be interesting to see if Justice Hill misses week 17 or if you play through week 18, if we see some Keaton Mitchell finally this season. We'll find out. Let's see. Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara are both out for Monday night's game against the Packers. So it's Kendre Miller season. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Kendre Miller tonight. Outside of that, Geno Smith, Kenneth Walker off the injury report for Sunday Night Football. Or excuse me, not for Sunday Night Football. They don't play Sunday night, but that's an afternoon game. Outside of that, I don't think we have anything crazy really going on. So should be good to roll. So let us know what you guys need and how today's games impacted you guys, or how Thursday night's game impacted you guys. Gus Edwards had a huge game. I did not think that was going to happen, but I'm glad I, generally speaking, told you guys to bench the Broncos defense. Wasn't feeling the short week, and I don't think they're going to be startable next week against Cincinnati either. But we'll roll through everything that happened based on your guys' questions. But let's get into it. What's up, Kenny? Good to see you. Run CMC, good to see you. Tommy, Pacheco's forever banned from my team. So I've had Pacheco as a sit for weeks and weeks, And I know some of you guys were in tough positions. I had one league where I just rolled with Pacheco because I had nothing better. But man, I just don't think, like, there's a bad matchup this week. It's a bad matchup next week. It's a bad matchup in week 18. And I know Kareem Hunt had a big game, but I don't want anything to do with this Chiefs backfield. Way too risky. And yeah, I know a lot of you guys were kind of forced to play Pacheco, but was not recommended by myself. So just remember, You can have a bad start. And I know like we got an early start to week 16. You can have a bad start and still get through with a victory. So try not to panic too much if you had one of the underperformers from the past 3 games we've already had. Like I said, week 15 in a matchup, I had Cup, Jennings, and Purdy, and I still won. So just don't panic.
I'm panicking. I'm
Pete,
panicking.
Pete might be panicking.
I'm not. It's okay. We had Xavier Worthy and Dicker the Kicker. It's okay. We're fine.
Yeah, the only league I had to start Pacheco. I'm not even playing for anything. I think I might be playing for third place.
I think I'm in the playoffs in the league I had Pacheco in, or the losers playoffs. I don't know. Too many leagues. I didn't even realize I was in the playoffs in one of the catch leagues that I had to play at. I didn't set a lineup, but I still won comfortably because my team is just that good. We are just that good over here at the catch.
There you go. Joseph says things have changed. Let us know. All right, Tommy needs a flex and PPR. Kendre, Etienne, McMillan, or JMO with St. Brown already in your lineup. I mean, there's 2 ways to look at this for me. And PPR, like I'm going to go with McMillan or JMO personally. JMO's been the most productive player here on the season. And so for me, I try not to overthink it this time of year. Play the productive players, right? You know, JMO's a wide receiver 25, double digits in 3 of his last 4 games. The Lions will need to throw the football more. I've been talking about this all week long. You know, yes, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to see a lot of volume and he's going to be a monster, but that 1-2 punch is so crucial to the way that this offense works. You know, they're going to have to switch it up a little bit, and guys like Laporta and JMO are going to see more volume. Of course, Amon-Ra, but you know, the other way to think about this is it's still not a good matchup, and Goff doesn't play well in cold weather.
Outdoor cold weather. He's played okay at Lambeau a couple of times, but they're in Chicago. Chicago's run defense is horrible. Like,
yes,
as a Vikings fan, Aaron Jones' 2 best running games are against the Bears this year. Like, they can't stop. So, like, I even thought about playing Craig Reynolds as, like, I guess he's going to be the number 2 combo. But, you know, against a good run defense, yes, it's not going to be as good. I think they could just run Gibbs for, you know, $150 and 2 touchdowns. No problem out there. But you're a Packers fan. It looks like he should know what the Packers defense is going to do against Kendre Miller. He should just kind of have an insight.
I'm a little worried about, like, I've been very torn on Jared Goff all week long, you know, coming off of, you know, some very productive games, right? I just don't know. On the road here in Chicago, I don't know how to feel about this one. The last time he played Chicago at home, he had 16 points. It wasn't bad, you know. He just was in a huge fantasy day. Yeah,
on the ball.
Yeah. So I still think JMO's very startable here, but I think like what you've been seeing out of JMO lately is like 11, 13-ish points, which is fine in your flex, right? But I will say I really like Jalen McMillan. I've been talking about him all week long. If he has a bad game, I'm going to be super disappointed. But it's just a good matchup against the Cowboys. It's primetime football. Sunday night football, and this Bucs team, they are trying to secure that NFC South, you know, spot, right? Trying to make sure they win that division. They're only 1 game ahead of the Falcons, and the Falcons have the tiebreaker. Yeah. So I like McMillan a lot, but it's hard because we only have 2 games here that he's really actually done anything. It's just been the past 2 weeks. So, and to your point on Kendre Miller, I think Miller's very startable, but it's just like when you have guys like JMO, even McMillan, who's shown his production in 2 games, it's like, I don't know, because what is this Saints offense going to be this week? Like the ceiling can't be high.
I'm hoping it's a garbage touchdown after the Packers defense has already scored 2 touchdowns. Like, it's going to be bad. I mean, the only hope is there's going to be volume, and it's going to be late volume, and
And that's the other argument I've seen for Kendre is like, well, even if their offense isn't productive, he is like basically the offense. You know, it's like Jawan Johnson, MVS. I can't name anyone else off the top of my head on that. Foster Moreau.
We're feeling great if it's like 30 touches and he has like 80 total yards and a touchdown. Like, you're feeling great with 80 and a touchdown.
And I do actually think that, like, I think ETN is a startable player this week. It's not the worst matchup, and he's somehow had double digits in 2 straight games, and Mac Jones has done things at quarterback.
He plays
But
quarterback. He plays quarterback at least.
yeah. And this is a tough thing. Like we're in week 16. Like you're going to run through all these scenarios all week long. And for me, I just try to play it safe. I would probably just leave JMO in my lineup. But if you want a little bit of upside, like maybe you went against Derrick Henry or, Xavier Worthy, right? I think McMillan has the upside here. Tommy, Stranger Kraft. See, there's another one because once again, Kraft has had the production all season long. But Britton Strange has a great matchup against the Raiders, who've been very soft against tight ends. And he's coming off a huge game.
He's been good when he's played Brenton Strange. Like when he
Yeah.
filled in early in the year, he's been pretty good.
100%. So I will say the Packers game. Okay, it's changed. It's supposed to be good weather, so
Just cold.
yeah, just cold. So Kraft. I mean, the Saints are 10th against tight ends, and Raiders are 29th. And like Kraft has, for the most part, been scoring as of late. But if he doesn't score, like last week, there's just nothing there, So I think I lean Strange. I think I'm going with Strange. He's another guy who better have a good game because a lot of people are relying on him. All right, Perry, we need to start 3. Wide receiver 2 and flex 2. London, BTJ, McBride, Bowers, or Jonnu. No tight end spot. Interesting. This is definitely a league that you would benefit from a tight end spot. I'm not benching Brian Thomas Jr. right now. Said it all year long. Said it all last week. There's no way I'm benching B Tom right now. No way. So I would have him easily in the wide receiver 2 spot. I think Drake London is still very startable, but I think there's some upside here with Michael Penix, but
Yeah, Penix has to be better than Cousins, right?
right. I mean, and of course we're coming off a game where London scored, but he only had 3 catches and 14 points. Hasn't scored since week 9. So the Giants are not that bad of a defense. I know Lamar torched them, last week, but they
Lamar.
rank yeah,
Lamar.
sure.
It's Lamar.
Yeah. They rank pretty highly in terms of their pass defense. Their run defense is not great, but I don't know, because I think Drake London is a really tough player to bench at the same time. He still only has single digits in 3 games on the season. He's been great in PPR leagues, so I would probably personally flex London here. The tight ends. I mean, you have like the 3 best tight ends in fantasy, basically. I guess Kittle's not here, but I mean, none of these tight ends are bad spots. Are going to put you in a bad spot. So I think you really flip a coin here, but I'd probably go with McBride. But it's so close. But I think I'd start both receivers. And any of these tight ends could outscore each other. Kendre Miller or Kenneth Walker.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I think, yeah, Kenneth Walker is a tough evaluate. He's been another one that's been tough for me this week because it's a bad matchup, and Charbonnet's probably going to see some volume because Walker has been banged up. So,
but Charbonnet was banged up this week in practice. Like he's banged up too. Charbs. It's kind of
that's true.
And the weather is horrendous in Seattle on Sunday.
Yeah, it feels like a sloppy game, which could be good.
It's good for the Seahawks. It's going to be a low-scoring, good Seahawks game. Bad for fantasy, I think, in general.
Yeah. So this is like one of those where I may consider Kendre Miller. But then it goes back to Kenneth has been, he hasn't been great, but he's been good. I mean, you still are only looking at single digits in 2 games, and in one of those, he technically got hurt. So
Minnesota's also been kind of bad against the run the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, they've let up a little, which is crazy because they're still giving up the 3rd fewest points to running backs. But it's just it's tough. It's tough. I think I would still start Kenneth Walker personally, but I think it's okay to go Kendre Miller here. But it's very close. Just because you got the injuries and the weather and the matchup, it's like it's risky. And Gino's coming off an injury. Like DK's
Yeah, this is like a game where
basically
the
hurt.
defense, like the defense
Yeah,
scores. It's 16-13 and the defense scores one of the
yeah.
touchdowns.
It's definitely close. If you feel better about Kendre, I'm not against it. But personally, this is what I do in the playoffs. I just play the most productive players on the season. All right, Bunny Hop, what's going on, man? At the bottom of the chat. Let me get both of your guys' opinions. Start 2. Chuba, Devonta, Judy, Jawan. We love you too, and Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for the kind words. I will tell Lily that you said Merry Christmas as well. I think I know who I'm going with. Do you need me to repeat it? Because I know it's not
No,
on the screen.
I mean, I think I got.
I'm going Devonta no matter what.
Yeah, that was the easy one for you, and I kind of feel the same way. It's tough.
I'm going Chuba too.
Chuba, I was going Chuba. Judy, I mean, Judy definitely has an argument with how good he's been.
I think the worry comes from DTR.
DTR.
If it was
crazy,
Jameis,
crazy man was out there, hell yeah, 4 picks.
Yeah.
250, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks to Judy. That's all we got. But yeah. Chuba, Chuba's been pretty inconsistent the last few weeks, but it's a good spot for him, I think, this week.
Yeah, well, to break it down a little bit further, like it's still a very good matchup for Jerry Judy. Like he is still very startable. You just don't know what you're going to get with DTR at quarterback. But the Bengals giving up the 20th most fantasy points to receivers, and it feels like they've been worse, right? So I think he's startable, but Chuba has a good matchup, so I think I'd roll with Chuba. The Cardinals are 23rd against the running back position. I know he had a bit of a down week this past week, but if you wanted to go Judy over Chuba, I think it's okay. But I just worry about Judy this week with DTR at quarterback. I would definitely start Devonta Smith. No doubt. And then Jawan Jennings is another player that I'm pretty torn on this week. I think he could have a solid game. I think he's startable, but I don't know about this Niners team. The Dolphins have given up the second fewest points to receivers. Not a great matchup. I will say if any receiver on that team is going to play well this week, it is Jennings. But like he did nothing. I know nobody did anything in week 15, but I don't know. Because like it's a bad weather game in week 15 for Jennings, bad weather game in week 13, then Allen at quarterback in week 12. And outside of that, he's been great. So I won't be surprised if Jennings has a decent game or even a good game, but I just don't love the matchup. Judy, I don't love the quarterback situation. So I'll go Smith and Chuba. But if you want to go Judy over Chuba, I'm not against it. So it's a tough one. Tough flex options for you, Bunny Hop. So let us know if you need anything else. And good to see you, man. Happy holidays to you. Appreciate the super chat. All right, Joseph. Kenneth Walker the third. Thank you for clarifying.
Kenneth Walker the third. Junior.
Yes.
Junior the third.
Yes. Patrick Taylor, Kendre Miller. Yeah, once again, I think I'm going Kenneth here. Patrick Taylor is one of these that I'm like, Patrick Taylor, Kendre Miller, and I talked about this in today's video or last night's video, whenever you guys watched it, right? Like, they're startable. They're worth picking up, but I don't know that I'd start them over players that have given me production all season long. It's just a little bit of a gamble here. Patrick Taylor, I might feel a little bit better about because there's an actual offense there. And it almost just feels too good to be true. Like Jordan Mason played well in this offense. Isaac Garando played well. Patrick Taylor probably can play well, but I think I don't know. I just get worried. It's week 16 and some people are like willing to bench almost anybody for Patrick Taylor just because he's on the Niners offense. So the Dolphins aren't great against the run. He's startable. Kendre Miller's startable, but Might bite me, but I think I will go Kenneth still. How is the tiebreaker in AFC? Why are the Steelers first?
Oh, so the Steelers have the tiebreaker. I believe it is conference record with or common
ah,
opponents with the Ravens. I did this earlier, so this is what I'm useful
yeah.
here. The Steelers have the tiebreaker if they win out or if they both lose to on Christmas. So at 12-5 and 11-6, the Steelers win the division still.
It's so funny because they're like losing these games as of late, and like it just doesn't even really matter, you know?
The only thing that'll stop them is if they lose to the Bengals
Mm,
and the Ravens lose to the Texans on
yeah.
Christmas and beat the Browns, then the Ravens win the division with the division records.
Dang, so the Ravens have to play on Christmas as well.
Yeah, the four teams that play today are the four teams playing on
Oh,
Christmas.
that's true. Okay, I was just as I said that it was processing. I'm like, oh, that's how they did that. Okay, that makes sense. um, well, that is interesting. I didn't even realize that. Crazy. And it looks like the Chargers and Broncos are probably still making it in.
The
But
Broncos are in a little bit of a spicy
yeah,
situation
I
right
see.
now. If the Bengals
Yeah.
win out and the Dolphins or the Colts lose, like Broncos week 18 at at Mahomes.
Arrowhead, yeah. And I wouldn't mind seeing the Bengals sneak in here, not gonna
There's
lie.
no
But
universe where the Chiefs let the Bengals into the playoffs.
yeah, that's a big one. And I don't think the Dolphins are gonna sneak in, and I certainly don't think the Colts are gonna sneak in. But
Colts
I feel
play
like
their schedule is so soft. They play Tennessee
it is
Jackson.
soft,
They play Tennessee Jacksonville, Tennessee, or something like that,
you know?
or the
And it feels like
Patriots. It's bad.
every year there's one of these teams that sneaks on in, and sometimes it's that team like the Colts where you're like, oh, like they're gonna be a first round exit for sure. Like, but you know,
I mean,
moral victory.
realistically, everybody's a first round exit. Getting the
Yeah,
Bills probably as the seventh
yeah,
as the 2 seed. Like the Bills are just
yeah.
they're a problem.
It'll hopefully. I mean, I like some drama at the end of the race for sure. All right, Joseph, need help in one of my flexes. I moved White to my second running back, so wondering who should I play in my second flex? Kendra Jennings, Patrick Taylor, or McMillan? Yeah, I'd either go Jennings for a floor or McMillan for upside, whatever you're looking for. But those are the two that I prefer here over Kendra and Patrick Taylor. Please pick one for flex and half PPR for the semifinal. Tracy Miller, Mooney, Watson, Dobbs. Oh, that one is close. That one, because Tracy is kind of who I gravitate towards, but I don't like this matchup. And he didn't have a great game, and Singletary got a little involved. I don't think I'd start Mooney. It's way too risky. This might be one where I would go. It's half PPR. I think I go Kendra Miller here. I'll take the volume. I just have. I don't like this matchup for Tracy.
You know whose week it's going to be this week? It's finally going to be Kyle Pitts' week this week.
The week when everyone sits him. Maybe him and Penix do. I mean, I could see it. I could see it. I actually thought about that when Penix got named the starter. I'm like, maybe this is it for Pitts.
This is the moment.
Uh, I mean, there's always some sort of excuse for Kyle Pitts, right?
The Pitts truthers are
Yeah,
here and ready to rock and roll.
they were here beginning of the offseason too. I remember sharply. Daniels, Love, or Rogers. I'm just playing Daniels. I know the last time the Commanders played the Eagles, like Terry had a bad game, Daniels didn't have a great game, but I'm going with the most productive players on the season here. And like I think Rogers is very streamable,
I'm sure.
but he's not going to do what he did last week. He's just not.
And Love may
And
not throw a pass. Like they may
yeah,
just run
it's
the
like
ball for 30 times and win 35-7.
yeah, this is going to be a big Josh Jacobs week, and I do worry about Love's upside this week. Like he's probably solid, but the
They're
upside's got to be capped.
they're going to be kind of resting. They got Minnesota. They're in Minnesota next week on a short
Yeah,
week. Like that's a huge game for playoff seeding. Like if they lose that game, they're locked in at the 6th seed, probably.
Yeah. I take Daniels highest ceiling. DK or Coleman? I'm going DK. I don't love it, and the weather's not going to be good, and he's been banged up, and
Jump ball, yeah, we're bad
yeah.
against jump balls. Gilmore is
Um,
back, but we're just I don't know. The Vikings
yeah.
defense is bad against jump balls and big receivers.
This is that time of year where like if you drafted DK Metcalf, you gotta ride or die with him. This is a time of year where I'm starting a guy like DK Metcalf. Um, and you're either gonna go down with him or be really happy. Is a good matchup on paper, and like Coleman, I'll say this much. I think the floor is really similar here between the two.
The upsides are bigger.
Um, but I think the upside is still higher with DK, even if and really break down the targets. Like JSN's just doing more with the catches. The targets are very similar. Now I will say I think the Bills might come out here and put up like 50.
This is going to be 20 years.
Yeah.
The Bills are going to take out as much payback as they can on the Patriots for as long
Yeah.
as they can for what happened with Brady. So
Yeah.
this could get ugly very fast. Good week to have Bills players in your lineup, that considered.
But Coleman's like just
Yeah.
very inconsistent. I mean, all the Bills receivers outside of Shakir are just.
I kind of like Amari. Like this feels like an Amari Cooper week where he did nothing when they throw up 40 and he just comes out and catches a touchdown. Has a nice
Yeah. It feels like a Mac Hollins week for me. It's like could be any of these guys. So
it's gonna be a Josh Allen week for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Should be. What's going on, Andrea? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Nick Am, full PPR, one running back, a flex, Spears, Ford, Patrick Taylor, McMillan, Shakir. I'm definitely starting Shakir. He's a tough player for me to bench. I don't think we have an update. I will check right now on Tony Pollard. Okay, he's still questionable. There's a small chance he doesn't play. If he doesn't play, I'd probably start Tajay Spears coming off a nice game and being an RB1. But if that's not the case, then I just go McMillan. Very high on McMillan this week. So, especially in PPR, I try to play the receivers. Ford or Scary Terry in half PPR. Once again, this time of year, I'm probably just playing Scary Terry. But I will say that if it's half PPR, I consider Jerome Ford here. But once again, like I just don't know what this Browns offense is going to be this week. It is a good matchup or a good enough matchup against the Bengals. So half PPR, I think Ford is okay, but Terry's been playing like lights out. I just have a tough time. But I know the last time he played Philly, he had like 2 points, but I don't always look like Derrick Henry tonight's a perfect example. Last time he played Pittsburgh, everyone's like, he had his worst game of the season. But it just didn't matter, right? I mean, Terry's the wide receiver 4 and has 20 plus points in 3 straight games. He has 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So I think I go Terry. But if you go Ford, I think his floor is safe. Armando, Darnold, Stafford, or Richardson? How do we feel about Sammy D this weekend?
I mean, he's due for like 3 interceptions. Just a terrible game. Every week, guys, I'm going to tell you Sam Darnold is going to do something terrible, and he's going to have a good week. He's going to throw 2 touchdowns, probably not turn it over. The weather does concern me quite a bit, but I think Seattle is bad, man. Seattle's not good. We watch Green Bay just kind of stick it to him. Darnold could have some good day with his legs. I don't know, but Matt Stafford's a fun play. It's going to be cold, but it's still a fun play with those guys. I'm never playing Anthony Richardson ever in my life, especially Alec Pierce is out. Like, that's the only guy he likes to throw to anyway.
Yeah. Technically, Richardson has the best matchup, but it's only 1 spot ahead of Stafford's matchup. I think Stafford probably is the safest floor. I would not start Richardson either. I know Stafford had the bad game this past week, but he had two or more passing touchdowns in 4 straight games before that. It was pretty solid fantasy wise. 19 or more fantasy points in 3 of those 4 games. Obviously the best on the season's been Darnold, but the weather, you just have to ask yourself, like, does the weather concern you or not? There's a 93% chance of rain. Everyone in Seattle is saying it's awful. I'd probably go Stafford, but the Darnold is just like a 50-50 shot. It's like the weather
Minnesota's
either.
lost like 6 in a row in Seattle. Like they play
Yeah.
bad up, like weird stuff happens up there. So
Yeah.
it's a little risky.
We haven't gotten a lot of the lows from Darnold this year, but when you do get them, like, they're pretty low, you know. Um,
Jacksonville.
yeah. So I don't know, because I have one league where I've got it's super flex league. I got Baker, Goff, and Darnold, and I'm going back and forth between Goff and Darnold. There's reasons why I'm worried about both. You
Both
know,
playing in less than ideal conditions for them.
yeah, yeah. Baker feels good, but
Oh, it's Baker. He's
it's
automatic.
Baker.
Automatic,
Yeah.
baby. Against the
Yeah.
Cowboys indoors? Oh,
Oh yeah.
no sun? There's no sun. It's going to be
No,
okay.
it's nighttime. The ceiling might fall and kill him.
Maybe they'll import a sun.
Yeah. So I think I'll go Stafford because I still feel like the floor is pretty safe for Stafford and Darnold. But I mean, I will say Richardson's matchup makes it intriguing, and I won't be surprised if he has a good game. But the risk is high there as well. So I go the safest bet, which I think is Stafford. But the problem with like rostering this many quarterbacks or having these options is like quarterbacks. It's so close. It's always close. 20 points today between Fairbairn and Andrews. Got Burrow, H.N. Gibbs, Kyron Evans, A.J. Brown. We start McMillan or D-Hop. Well, D-Hop already played. So maybe that's supposed to be somebody else. But if this is your lineup, I would just go with the upside, and I think that's McMillan. But maybe let us know if that's supposed to be a different player. Because D-Hop has already played. What's going on, Super Size? Good to see you, man. Hope you are well. Andrew needs 2. London, Jennings, Adams, BTJ, half PPR. Ooh, that's tough. I'm going Adams. I'm not benching Adams right now. And I'm going BTJ. Very close, but I'm going with those two, Andrea.
Mac likes to throw to BTJ.
He does. And he likes to throw in general, apparently. Bucky Irving or Kendre. I'm definitely going Bucky Irving. Not even close for me. Not even close. It's a great matchup. Bucks are going to have their foot on the gas all game. Primetime football, trying to win that division. And Bucky has been fantastic. I'm going Bucky. Tua or A-Rich? Tua's another. There's some quarterbacks, high-level quarterbacks that are worrying me this week. And Tua's one of them, especially coming off a bad game. And it's not a great matchup. But I'm going Tua. I'm forgetting last week. If Tua had like 16, 17 points last week, like we wouldn't even be thinking about it. I'm going Tua. All right, Carlos at the bottom of the chat. Thank you for the super chat. Quarterback, Kyler or Rodgers? Kyler is also up there. A little conflicting this week, but I think unless you have an option that you feel really good about, I think I'm starting Kyler this week. It's a great matchup. The Panthers have given up a lot of fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. I think I would start Kyler. I know it was a bad week last week, but that at least increases the odds for a good Kyler week this week. He was solid the previous 2 weeks. I mean, A-Rich once again has an intriguing matchup, and he's almost as volatile as Kyler. But the crazy thing is Kyler's still the quarterback 11 on the season. He just had some highs and lows. The lows are pretty low, but I think I'll take the matchup here. Oh, I'm sorry, Murray or Rodgers? For some reason, I was thinking Richardson. Kyler versus Rodgers is kind of close, but I think I'll say it this way: Rodgers is the floor, Kyler's the upside. Taylor or Madison Taylor or Patrick Taylor. It's like, um, I'm going Patrick Taylor. Something just feels off about Madison.
I can't
It is,
trust the Raiders. It's the Raiders.
yeah, it's
He
a
got
great matchup, and I think that's what's getting the people
he
at
got
the end of
hurt
the day.
again, like, but he came back and
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought Madison was dead after that
I know.
injury on Monday night. He was like, oh,
Uh, I mean, Abdullah really only gets the volume in the passing game. It's not like a huge factor. I think I'd go Patrick Taylor. I think if Madison scores, like the ceiling is still like 13 points, you know. Um, I think I go Patrick Taylor, but it could really go either way. Myers or McMillan? I think I still go Myers.
I don't know how, but they get Jacoby Myers gets the ball. I don't know how.
Yeah,
Like, he was doing nothing. He didn't have a reception in the fourth quarter, and he still had an awesome finish to that game.
yeah. And it's a good matchup. I'm going Myers, but I do like McMillan. Hawkinson or Strange? Give me
Strange.
Strange. Give me Strange. Let's take the matchup here again as well. So I think I go Kyler, but the floor with Rodgers is fine if you want to take it. There's more upside with Kyler. I'll go Taylor. I'll go Myers. I'll go Strange. But you do have some close calls there. Let us know if you need anything else, Carlos.
I have a good one if we want a little quarterback. How about Rodgers or Stafford?
So I talked about this in the Sneaky Starts and Streams video because they're like my two top streaming options. And really, the floor and ceiling, I think, is neck and neck. I think I would take Stafford by a hair because the Rams are playing for more. And if they are in a position theoretically where they're losing this game, which I don't think is
I mean,
crazy, they're on
yeah,
the road.
they could be trailing.
Um,
They're gonna throw.
they're gonna throw. You know, I mean, Kyron always has the opportunity to take away touchdowns from anybody, but I think I'd take Stafford by a hair. But it's like neck and neck. And I think they're both very
That
solid.
that's what we decided. That was a fun little discussion on the group chat we had this week on who would you roll with
Very close.
in the same game.
I think that's actually a pretty good matchup overall for fantasy. All right, Tyson, we got to start one. Tracy Ford, ETN, Taylor, or Stevenson. I actually like Ramondre Stevenson this week, but I think his ceiling is capped because the Patriots, I will go ahead and guess, are going to get behind in this game and have to throw. And it's just not a good game script.
They're gonna be losing early.
It's a good matchup. The Bills have been really soft against the run.
Awful defense. Well, it's weird. Like, Detroit didn't run at all against them last week.
Yeah. Yeah, lately, like the
It's
last
just
2
the
weeks, they've been
secondary
worse
is
against the
just
pass. Yeah.
awful.
So, and like Stevenson, we saw it happen last week. Like same thing happened. So, he had a good matchup last week too. I think if you like Ford here, I think that's fine. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I would start Travis Etienne. I mean, I think he's the safest floor, and the matchup's not that bad. He's got like double digits in 2 straight games. But if you want to go Ford or Taylor, I think it's fine. I will say this much, Tyson. Like, I don't think it's gonna make or break you. Like, I think all these guys have really similar floors. I would probably leave Tracy out due to the matchup. I think I'd leave Stevenson out due to the expected game script. So it's Ford, Etienne, or Taylor, and it's really close. But whoever you feel better or best about here, I think is fine. But it's definitely close with that bunch. James at the bottom of the chat. Thank you for the super chat. Start one. Spears, McMillan, Jameson, Williams. I think if Tony Pollard's out, then he can consider Spears here. But I think personally, and we talked about this earlier, same question, JMO or McMillan. JMO for the floor, McMillan for the upside. And Spears is really only startable, in my opinion, if you're desperate or if Tony Pollard's out. But I think I would just roll with J-Mo. He's been the most consistent. Hurts or JD? I mean, I think you're really flipping a coin here, but I think I'd still start Hurts. Really tough to bench Hurts. Tough to bench Jaden Daniels too, but Washington's 16th against quarterbacks. Philly is 4th, so I will go Hurts over JD. And Carlos at the bottom of the chat adding this super chat. I do have Connor at running back in the Murray Rogers question. Would that matter? It doesn't matter for me. No. But I do think Connor is going to have a big week.
Big day for James Conner.
Yeah. So if you are worried about Connor taking away potential touchdowns that Kyler could be throwing, then you could just go Rodgers. I think Rodgers is safe there. All right, Charlie. Allen versus Detroit. Keenan Allen versus Sleeven Allen is what got typed here. Or McMillan. I'm going Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen's a great start this week. I almost put him in the sneaky start video, but I didn't quite feel like he fit the mold for that video. But he is one of these players that's doesn't always get in the start area as a flex guy. Has been kind of up and down, but he's been pretty dang good the past couple of weeks for the most part. Big game this past, like him and Caleb Williams seem to have the best chemistry, I would argue. And Detroit's so banged up.
This is the week for Chicago. Like either Minnesota broke their entire spirit and they are going to be horrendous against a bad Detroit defense, or Chicago's finally just going to find a way to win a game and, have a huge day on offense from Caleb. They can't rush the passer. Keenan Allen's going to have they can't cover him.
Yeah, because they got to put the pressure on DJ Moore. I still think DJ Moore is going to have a good game, but it also kind of feels like there's a potential for this to be a trap game and the Lions lose another. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say. This game's in Chicago, I talked about this early in the week. I really like Keenan Allen and DJ Moore this week, so I do like McMillan, but Cade Otton's out.
Yeah, Cade Otton is out officially.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, we should have done that in the news segment. I should have been on that.
Yeah, not bad.
Cade Otton is out.
Well, that definitely helps McMillan and Evans and Rachaad White, most importantly. But yeah, I'm going Keenan Allen if I got him. I do like McMillan this week though. Best defense to start: Falcons, Bengals, Lions. Okay, first of all, I don't know why anyone is considering starting the Lions this week. I've gotten this throughout the week. I am facing somebody who has a Lions defense in right now, and I hope they don't change it. But I mean, I get that Caleb Williams has been a bit wishy-washy and whatever, but I mean, the Lions have not scored double digits since week 11 against the Jags, and that's the only time since week 9 they've scored double digits. They are coming off a game where they had -4 fantasy points. The week before, they had 3 fantasy points. The week before, they played Chicago. They had 5 fantasy points.
Yeah, and Caleb was great in the second half against Detroit. Like, he was awful in the first half, and so he did a ton of damage in the last. This game is going to be in the 30s and 40s, I think, as much as outdoors in Chicago, bad weather. I think we're going to see a lot of points scored in this one.
Yeah, I would not start the line. I mean, I talked about this on Tuesday night stream. We went through all the players on defense that are on IR for the Lions. Like it's bad. But I think the most upside out of any defenses this week are with the Falcons and Bengals and the Packers. Sorry. Packers are up there too.
Packers 2 weeks ago. That was easy claim.
Yeah. Easy play. But yeah, I love the Falcons this week. And I think the Bengals, who I really haven't trusted, but I talked about this in the defense video, they have a ton of upside too. So I would say the Falcons may have a safer floor, but the Bengals do have a lot of upside as well. I'll say this much. I almost like the Bengals more if Jameis Winston was the starter.
For real. Touchdown City.
I think there's a chance that we see DTR and Jameis Winston in this game.
We've seen the DTR I can't.
He
looked like
we've seen DTR last week.
He's looked like Jake Haener, and in games before. Like I can't complete a pass. Got a
Yeah.
guy. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So I
Cleveland
think both those starts are great, but I would not start the Lions defense. Do not trust them.
or do if you want to lose.
Not true. I mean,
Change it up.
maybe
Catch them
you want to
sleeping.
lose. Devonta Smith or MH Jr. I'm going Devonta Smith. I that's just me. I'm going Devonta. I think we are due for a good Marvin Harrison Jr. game.
Yeah,
Theoretically,
he didn't catch a touchdown last week. He ruined the streak.
I know it was back. It was perfectly even every
Two
other
goose
game.
eggs in a row now.
Yeah. Last time he had 2 bad games in a row. He had 23 points the next game, but it's like this is not how you make fantasy decisions. Carolina's not that bad against wide receivers. Been saying it all season long. Um, he's still very startable, but I'm going Devonta. Just give me Devonta. Easy money. All right, Daniel at the bottom of the chat. Thank you for the super chat. Quarterback is Evans. Mike Evans, your quarterback?
Lit.
Maybe it was supposed to be Baker. Let us know. Already started Collins and Ladd. So maybe it was my wide receivers, Evans. Please help complete my lineup. 2 running backs and 2 flexes. Players available. Bijan Walker, Bucky Spears, Taylor, Evans, Harrison, Hawk, and Strange. So Bijan and Bucky for sure. That part's easy. Easy. Yeah. I think you just put the wrong name for quarterback. So you got to start Mike Evans at receiver or flex. And then with this lineup, I'm probably going Marvin Harrison Jr. I think if Pollard is out, you could go Spears over MH. Walker's interesting here. But I think I'd leave him out just because of the weather and coming off an injury.
Yeah, like could he get like one bad hit and it's like he's tweaked, he's out.
But I'll say it this way: Bijan, Bucky, Mike Evans gives you such a safe floor with plenty of upside. I think it's okay to go Marvin Harrison here and kind of risk it, or go Walker and risk it, or go Spears and risk it. The last one I'm really not gonna. I wouldn't be overly concerned about. I just go with whoever you feel like gives you the most upside, and I'll go Brenton Strange over TJ Hawkinson. That's been our answer tonight. So we're going with the Strange man. So yeah, but I would feel pretty good. You got Bijan, Bucky, Mike Evans. You should feel pretty good here. And you already started Collins and Ladd. You should feel very good. You're in a good spot. All right, let us know if you need anything else, Daniel. Thank you for the super chat. Nick, what a crazy season. Can't believe we didn't make it to the top 4 in our league. We faced this week though. Is that which league is that? Auction League? Hold on. Our Super Flex. Auction League. Yeah, my team. I'm angry at this team. This team was not that bad. I did make the playoff. We did make the playoffs. So I'll take that.
But not top 4. Doesn't count.
Oh, this is literally a playoff game. But I think I lost last week. Yeah, so I don't know what we're playing for. I don't know if we're playing for third. No, not third. Maybe. Always forget how it works. But it should be a good game this week, Nick. I had Henry and Andrews, so that was a good start. And you had Kelsey. I did bench Bo Nix, and he benched Mahomes, so I got Darnold in. I probably should have started Bo Nix. But good luck, Nick. Always fun playing with you, man. Andrew, I need 2 McMillan, Thielen, Judy Jennings. I think I'm still rolling with Adam Thielen this week. A little bit of a lower ceiling this past week, so that is not ideal. Jalen Coker got a little bit more involved, but he still had double digits. I think I go Thielen and McMillan. I will say, if you guys like Judy or Jennings, don't talk yourself out of it. I just worry about the quarterback situation with Judy, and I don't know what to expect out of Jennings. It's not a bad, or it is a bad matchup, and I don't know. He's been pretty dang good. If you take away the weather games and the Allen, was it Brandon Allen at
Brandon
quarter?
Allen,
I always want to say
legend.
Braylon Allen, but it's not Braylon. Um, I think I would play Thielen and McMillan, but the other two probably have the most upside. Chase, good to see you, bro. What's up? Tommy, Strange or Hawk? We're rolling with Strange. Rolling with Strange. If Tracy plays, flex who? McMillan or Taylor? McMillan. Darnold or Love?
Ooh.
The quarterbacks are tough this week. Really tough this week.
Unless you have Josh Allen.
Yeah, unless you got like an absolute stud, But so far, if it's any encouragement, quarterback play has
It's
been
been pretty
pretty
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even Herbert had a big game. And Russell Wilson was not great, but he had 16 points. Actually, I think Lamar only finished. He
Lamar
finished with
had
21.
22.
Okay, yeah. That was because there was a point where he was like sitting at like, you know, 3 passing touchdowns, but 18 points or whatever. Um. So yeah, everyone has been pretty solid. What was Stroud's?
18.
That's pretty good for CJ Stroud.
Yeah, that's like
That's his best since week 6.
still had 2 picks, I think.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, I mean, it's been, and that's one thing that happens this time of year. Like we're
Quarterbacks
in the
play.
end game now.
Quarterbacks play.
Yeah, throw a little bit more. I'll say Love for a 4, Darnold for the upside.
That's probably
It's just
the right call.
Yeah, it's just risky with Darnold because the weather and matchup and
There's like very easily a universe where Darnold throws his normal like 3 touchdown passes and
yeah, for sure,
250 yards.
for sure. And I think you kind of alluded to this earlier. It's like, I mean, the Seahawks did not look good this past week.
They're bad. So they're gonna look better. I think you have to look better after getting embarrassed like that at home, and you're at home again. But maybe they just could Seahawks could just be bad, and the Rams are gonna win this division.
I kind of prefer that the Rams win, but who cares what?
As long as my team's not playing them the first round. Lions Rams first round, baby. Let's get that juice going.
So yeah, Love for a 4, Darnold for upside. Darnold has a risk, but I don't think Love really has a ton of upside. Now, we haven't really talked about it, but there is a world where the Saints show up a little bit. You never know. That's what happened last week. And maybe
wrong stadium. Wrong stadium,
yeah.
I think. In Lambeau, Monday Night Football, it's going to be a party. Playing the stupid song.
But you never know. I mean, it's any given Sunday or Monday. Or
I'll let you know after how the Sunday. Wednesday. We'll know after how the Sunday games go. If it's all chalk, then like, oh yeah, here are the Saints, baby. But if something crazy happens on Sunday, it's like easy game on Monday.
Yeah. All right, James at the bottom of the chat. Thank you for the super chat. Finish this lineup: Jalen or JD5. Let's go, Jalen. It's close, but it's still Jalen for me. Bucky or Saquon? Oh no, you're starting Bucky and Saquon. Okay,
good call.
Right? Yeah,
good call.
Start those guys. London, JJ, Neighbors. Okay, so you just need the quarterback in the flex. Okay, so flex 2: McMillan, JMO, Spears, Miller. I would just flex McMillan and JMO. I take the receivers here. You have a very solid lineup: Jalen Hurts, Bucky, Saquon, London, JJ, Neighbors. I'm going to go for the upside in the flex and take the wide receivers, especially if it's PPR, and go McMillan and JMO. Yeah. Yeah.
And we've seen Addison have 2 big games against the Bears, so why can't JMO have that spot if Amon-Ra's going to draw Jalen Johnson?
Yeah. And once again, you have a great lineup, so I'm going for that upside in the flex spots. Yeah. Run CMC, bottom of the chat. Ignore D-Hop. We'll start McMillan over Evans, AJ Brown, or A-Chain. No, start Evans, AJ Brown, and A-Chain.
Too many, too much dog. Can't sit dogs like that.
No. Andrea, Neighbors or Garrett Wilson? Ooh. Give me. We got what? Drew Lock at QB.
Yeah.
I almost wanted it to be. I wanted to see a full game of
Tim
Tim
Boyle.
Boyle. Yeah.
I don't think anybody needs to see that.
Well, he's pretty good for neighbors, is all. But Atlanta's secondary is so
So
trash.
bad. But AJ
This
Terrell's
is,
kind of good.
yeah, but he floats a
He does
lot.
float. Yeah,
This is a really close call.
with Devontae. I forget about Devontae too. Like,
I think I go neighbors.
it's close. This
But
is really close. I
it's
think.
close. It's close. I don't think it makes or breaks you. The floor is probably very similar. Um, it's super close, Andrea. If you're wondering, I'll look at the matchups. So for Wilson, the Rams are 25th against the position. And for neighbors, the Falcons are 29th, so it's 4 spots. It's not crazy. It's like I almost view both these guys similar fashion this week.
It's like who they're both gonna see like moderate volume. Probably have a decent
Well,
day yards wise. Who's gonna catch the touchdown?
I guess you could argue neighbors is at least the number one option, where Wilson is
The
not.
number two.
His targets have actually been closer to Adams
They
than you
don't run
might think.
the. He might as well be a number one option because the Jets don't run the football. They're just gonna throw it. So the Giants at
Yeah,
least will run the football.
yeah. Very close, but I don't think it makes or breaks you for what it's worth. Bryce, this is it. That's right. Pick one to start. Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, Jennings. Hard to set Hall in the semifinals, but don't need an 8-point day from him. Niners have no run game. Garrett Wilson is getting targets. Yeah. Uh, Brees Hall is like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I see more than what he did this past week out of him.
What was
He is
it?
gonna play,
He had like 8 yards and a touchdown or something. 20 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, 30 yards, touchdown, 2 catches, 21 receiving
I
yards.
guess he
The
had
Rams,
the catches help. Yeah.
yeah, the Rams are 16th against position. Like they're not great, not bad. I think you trust your gut. Take Brees Hall. Why not? If for me, if you don't go Brees Hall, you go Garrett Wilson. I don't know what to do with Jennings. I want to talk you guys out of Jennings once again, but I don't know how I feel about it. I will say the last time I talked about Jennings this way was against the Bears. Wasn't a great matchup, and he had a huge day.
Cooked.
I guess the best thing for about Debo Samuel is that he can still allow Jawan Jennings to have big days because defenses still account for Debo, even though he has not been great this year. So it's tough. But if the Dolphins are smart, they'll put Ramsey on Jennings. But
That's Dolphins and smart. Like that's come on.
yeah, their head coach is a coke dealer. So
He is
um,
DJ Mikey Mike, baby, spinning up those records.
I think you trust your gut. Just go Brees Hall. Brees Hall. It is a tough situation for sure. Shout out Andrews and Mahomes earlier. What's up, LeBrons? Bryce, in another league, Ridley or McMillan? I think I'm over Ridley. I think Ridley is only in your lineup if you got nothing there.
So,
Maybe Mason Rudolph does help though.
that's what I'm thinking. Like Mason Rudolph for his bat, like he can throw a football. He's kind of like Mac Jones. Like I know he's gonna throw a football, and it's not gonna be Will Levis out there for the love of God, please.
I will say weeks 8 and 9 when Mason started, Ridley had 22.6 and 12.3 points. And if you're wondering, Nick Westbrook-Akine had a touchdown in each of those games and 11 or more points, if anyone still cares about Nick Westbrook-Akine. So I do think that Mason Rudolph helps Ridley a bit here. I'll say Ridley for a floor. McMillan has the upside. Barb, PPR flex, Jennings or Kendre. I'm going to go Jennings just because I haven't said Jennings all night.
He's
I
the better
think
player. He's the better
yeah,
player. He's a better player.
Kendre is startable this week, but like once again, like really only if you're desperate because
I am the desperate. I have to start
yeah,
Kendra Miller. Like I have Nick Chubb hurt, J.K. Dobbins hurt, David Montgomery hurt. Like it's Kendra Miller time, baby, with Chase
yeah.
Brown. That's like the only situation, guys, to be starting this.
I have a league where literally all year I've only rostered Henry, Monty, and Kamara. Um, and now I have Kendre Miller. You know, like it's those types of situations. But when you have a guy like Jennings, like I would risk Jennings here. Should I start JT over Bucky, Kyron, or Cook? No. I mean, JT,
Maybe
I still
James
think is
Cook.
going to be solid.
Yeah, maybe James Cook. Maybe because the Bills
I'm
can.
I'm not benching Cook. I'm just not. I mean, like there's a scenario where they're up like 40 in the first quarter and James Cook is not
The
involved
Bills,
like he
yeah,
was.
the Bills are just kind of all over the place with their run
Yeah,
game, but they're gonna
this is
score.
fair.
There's way too much like upside with like, yeah, he could be getting the ball. Like definitely not
Yeah.
over Bucky and Kyron.
Yeah.
So
What happened in week 14 too is like they needed to throw the football. It was a back and forth game and Cook got game scripted out, but he's the RB9. Like I talked about this in the start sit video. Like I'm not benching. It was the same logic last week and he had a huge game. So um and like yeah, you can't bench Kyron, he's an RB6. You're not if anyone out there benches Bucky Irving, I will find you and yell at you.
Bucky, the goat,
Um
Irving.
Now Bucky might be the most benchable for some people because you got him off waivers or whatever, and you
But
have
it's,
studs. But it's you should not. You should be trying to start
like
Bucky.
Bucky Irving's like a top 5 running back, guys. When he played,
Yeah,
like he's been so good.
but I would agree with you, Tyler. JT's your odd man out here. I still think JT's very solid this week. If he didn't drop the ball
We'd
last
be
week, he would
feeling
have had a
so
good
much
game.
better about JT if he
Yeah,
wasn't an idiot last week.
and I mean he was good in the game prior to that, before the bye week. So he's still solid, but the other players here are just better. Bench Addison for Reed because of weather, or roll with Addison. Addison's tough to bench right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seattle secondary
Jaden,
is bad too.
yeah, Jaden Reed is probably fine, but who knows? Um, and I mean the Saints secondary is not playing well. I'll say Reed for a floor, Addison for upside, but it's week 16. It's the playoffs. As a reminder, trust your gut. You guys have those gut instincts. Don't let any YouTuber, whoever they may be your final indicator of what you do. Chase, should I keep B Rob on the bench? Here's my lineup: Bucky and Chuba, Evans and Garrett Wilson, Jacoby, flexes JT. Yeah, I think that's fine. B Rob very startable, but it's still a tough matchup. He was I know the game script didn't help him last week, but he was underwhelming last week. Last time he played Philly, he was okay. He scored a touchdown. Like I think he's definitely startable. I won't be surprised if he scores this week, but really the only player I'd consider him over maybe is Chuba, but like they're pretty close, you know. So whoever you like more. If you like Chuba more, that's fine. Chuba has the better matchup. So yeah, I'm good at that. Chuba Bucky or London is Bucky. It's Bucky. All right, we got yeah, we got this one from the super chat. Oz, what's going on? Starting Allen over Burrow.
As
Well,
tough as that is, but yeah, it's the right move.
there's one guy I'll bench Burrow for. It's probably Josh Allen. My issue is my second running back in flex: JMO, Madison, Etienne, Kendre Miller, and Ramondre. I'll go JMO in the flex. These running backs, any of these guys can outscore each other. I'm going Etienne. I feel actually pretty good about Etienne. I should have put Etienne in the sneaky start video. Apparently, I like Etienne this week.
Going out on a limb with ETM. I like
Yeah.
it.
I just feel like the floor is there, and that's just where I'm at. Like I think 11-ish points is very doable for ETN this week. But if you want to go the different running back here, I don't blame you. Big Lou, what's up? Need a 2.5 PPR. Oh, quarterback flex, super flex. That's what I'm going to assume. The half PPR does not matter. But you got a second question. Okay. So let's start with this one. Rush, Kyler, Penix, or AR? You need two? I'll go on Kyler and Cooper Rush. Yeah. I think they're the safest. Cameron, Dalton Kincaid, or Strange? I'm going Strange. I do like Kincaid this week, but I'm going Strange. Need upside play McDaniels or Darnold? Bowers or McBride? Jeez. Wait. McDaniels. I don't know what McDaniels is. It's a quarterback, I'm assuming.
Jade?
Trying to think.
Maybe it was Jane Daniels and it just went Mick.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. If it is Jaden Daniels, I go Daniels over Darnold. And Bowers or McBride is like, I mean, you can't really make a bad call there. You might even be able to bench somebody and start both of these tight ends. So I guess I will go to matchup. Let's see. I think I go Bowers just because he's playing the Jags, and they are so bad against tight ends. But the Panthers also suck. I mean, you might want to seriously consider McBride and Bowers in your starting lineup, depending on who you got. All right, so need to in full PPR: Kenneth, Henry, Ertz, McLeod, or Westbrook Kine. I'll go Kenneth out of these players. Ertz if he's healthy. I do think Nick Westbrook Akine could bounce back this week, but I'm not risking it. I'll go Henry if Ertz is not healthy. Happy holidays to you. Question: Stevenson or Dobbs? Half PPR. I think in half PPR, I'll go Stevenson.
I hate Packers wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Dobbs had 3 catches. I think 2 of them were touchdowns. Like, you know, I think I'll go Stevenson and half PPR. Kendra Miller, Madison, or Bigsby? Who should I get? Probably this order: Kendra, Madison, then Bigsby. Need 2 of 3 to start. Bucky at the Cowboys, A-Chain, Chase Brown. Who? It's like these. This is a good example. One of the questions where Bucky Irving coming up makes sense. I mean, you literally cannot go wrong here. I mean, I guess I come down to matchup here, but I think Chase Brown has the worst matchup, and I'm not even. Yeah, the Browns are 9th against running backs, but I'm not concerned about it. I mean, you cannot go wrong. You could argue maybe since Bucky's coming off of the injuries, but I there is not a bad start here, Anthony. Not a bad start. Worst matchup is Chase Browns against the Browns. No pun intended. And Bucky's coming off an injury. We will probably see some Rashad White in this game. But you don't have a bad start here, no matter what you do. Best quarterback option in week 16 to throw 300 yards? Burrow. Goff and Darnold playing in kind of questionable environments, weather-wise. Burrow may not have a great history against the Browns, but their secondary is playing really bad right now. And they're going to have their foot all the way on the gas. They are in must-win territory at home. Flex White, Judy, J-Mo, Mooney, Pollard, or McMillan. I'm starting White. If I got him. But you do have some good options. Jay Smells, full PPR, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex. Who do I start? Love or Darnold? So we talked about this earlier. Love for the floor, Darnold for upside. Metcalf, Puka, Neighbors, BTJ, Adunze. So I'm starting Puka, Neighbors, flexing BTJ, starting A Chain, starting Hall. Yeah. So I would go Love. You could risk Darnold, Puka, Neighbors, BTJ, A Chain, Brees Hall. Garando's hurt. If you did not know that.
Shed a tear.
Yeah.
1 week.
They
He
are
gave us
cursed.
He gave us 1 week. One real week.
They are cursed. Space Ghost, what's up? Pick 3: Terry Reed, Keenan McMillan. This kind of falls into that area of like, do you trust your studs? You just go Terry Reed and Keenan. They've been the best on the season. Or do you bench one of them for McMillan because he's been very good the past 2 weeks, has a good matchup? Terry, bad matchup. Jaden Reed is still volatile. But personally, I would probably have set my lineup with Terry Reed and Keenan, then try not to look at it for the rest of the week. But if you want to bench one and take the upside with McMillan, that's fair. Daniel's quarterback was Baker. That's what I thought. Then you definitely start Mike Evans. That the Bucks and Baker are going to try and get Mike Evans at 1,000 yard season. He only needs like 86 yards a game or something. Dynasty 39, Addison or Dowdle. Full PPR with half per carry. Dowdle for the floor. The upside is with Addison. The risk is also with Addison, not really because of Addison's play or anything, but because of the weather and all that. Y'all thinking London this week or drops a dud?
Medium. Medium game for London. Medium. 15 for London. I'm going out on a limb.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's basically where he's been. I don't think that like Michael Penix is going to completely elevate Drake London right out the gate. But yeah, as Pete's alluding to, the
It
quarterback
can't
play
be
is
worse.
not been
It
good.
cannot be worse than Kirk
Well,
Cousins.
I don't think it's going to be worse, but I just don't like.
It has to be
I think some
better.
people.
I'll even go like
Right.
it has to even be better. Like Kirk Cousins has been eye gougingly bad, especially against Vegas. Like they got the touchdown. Like Michael Penix can throw some of the best deep footballs you will see. And if Drake London is good, he'll be open and catch that football.
Sure. But with everything being said, I think Drake London is a good start this week for sure. So yeah, I don't know if he medium. That's where we're at, right? Medium is probably fair. Strange or Hawkinson. I don't know why I'm leaning Strange. We're all leaning Strange. Yeah. Strange has a bad game. There's going to be pitchforks coming, but I'm going London. Let's see. What's up, Derek? Shakir or McMillan. I'm probably still starting Shakir, taking the floor. He's been pretty dang good the last 2 weeks. I'll go Shakir, but McMillan does have the upside, arguably, here. London or Addison. I see, like, I'm probably still going Drake London here. But I will say if the weather is supposed to be better, I might go Addison. But like once again, Drake London's a wide receiver 7 on the year. Addison's been really good as of late. He's a top 15 wide receiver, but I think I would take the safer floor with London, but Addison got the upside here. Drew, what's going on? Good to see you. Dexter, Hill or Myers? Oh, Tyreek Hill. First time he came up tonight.
Where are we in this universe where we have to pick between Tyreek Hill and Jacoby Myers? What happened, guy? What happened to fantasy?
Yeah, and Tyreek Hill's popped up. The wrist injury's there. We knew that, but he's popped up as a questionable due to personal reason. So, I mean, we know Waddle's not playing. I kind of lean Myers just due to the matchup. That's the other thing is the Niners have still been haven't allowed a lot of fantasy points to receivers. Myers for the floor, but obviously I think you still have to argue the upsides with Hill. And the Dolphins were completely disappointing against the Texans, to say the least. But Hill was pretty dang good for the most part, even dating back to week 8. He only has 2 single-digit games since week 8. So he has 2 best games of the season outside of week 1 against the Jags in weeks 13 and 14. So Myers for the floor, but I think Hill still has the upside. Drew, Chuba or Bucky Irving is Bucky. Bucky. Rudolph around Christmas could work out. There you go, Mason Rudolph.
Oh, ha, ha, ha.
What do you think my odds versus J-Dub in our league is? Let me find which league that is.
Yeah, which Jade?
There's quite a few. Oh, I found it. It is close. So you had Mahomes and Andrews in that league. And what do you flex? Yeah, it's 1 year in.
It's the league I'm in the other semifinal.
Yeah. You definitely have a good shot here. I mean, Mahomes Hurts, Connor Ford, Jones Dowdle, Myers Lamb, Adams London, Andrews Bowers, Hall Smitty, Jennings Beaton. This is going to be close. Jennings versus Judy's super close. Judy has the better matchup, the more questionable quarterback play. I think, oh God, that's a coin flip, LeBron's. Coin flip. And this is a close matchup. I do like your running backs better for what it's worth, but then it starts to get very close. Mahomes having a good game really helped you. Good call by rolling with Mahomes there.
It's a good start.
Dang, he's got Lamb, London, Smitty, and Beaton, and Bowers. And it hurts. It's going to be close, man. I think Jennings has the worst matchup, but the better quarterback play. Judy has the more questionable quarterback, the better matchup. So it's very close. And yeah, you're right. Both have pop potential. I will say I think the floor is close for both, but the upside might be higher with Jennings. Very close. That's tough. Curry at the bottom of the chat. Thank you for the super chat. Muth and Mixon hurt me combined for 12 points. What wide receivers to go with for the highest upside? Shakir, Smitty, Thielen, McMillan, Rome, Caleb, Murray, Penix, Stafford. Full PPR, now a long shot to win. You never know what's going to happen. I'm still starting Smitty and Shakir because I think they've been the best on the season and they still have upside. But McMillan arguably has maybe more upside. But I would personally just start the best overall players. I go Shakir and Smitty. Quarterbacks, for me, it comes down to Kyler or Stafford. Stafford for the floor. Kyler for the risk, but the upside. Kyler does have the best matchup. But his lows, if you hit a low when you're already kind of down here, you're going to be upset. But I think I would personally take the risk with Kyler. But keep in mind, James Conner could have a really big day, and that could hurt Kyler. So if you want to go Stafford, and sometimes when you're down like this, it's okay to just take the floor. Sometimes actually what you need is the safer play. Especially just imagine if your opponent has 2 players who kind of crap out as well. You're going to be right back to neck and neck. So the floor can be helpful. So if you want to go Shakir, Smitty, Stafford, I think that's fine. But you could throw Caleb in there. Like I said, Caleb has a better matchup, but Stafford's matchup is not bad. All right, thank you for the super chat. Let us know if you need anything else. Hopefully that's helpful. I would just stick with Shakir and Devonta. All right, Armando, Strange, Debo, or Watson? Might as well just hop on the Strange train.
Strange train.
Watson is interesting. I'm not starting Debo. I'm not. I'm not. Watson is certainly intriguing. The Saints is a pretty good matchup. So I might go Watson if it's a flex option. I really am only starting Strange if you got two spots, then just go Strange and Watson. Don't start Debo. Started Sutton and Joe. Mixon says Xander. Should I start Jones, Ford, Tracy, or Taylor? Definitely Aaron Jones. He's been the most consistent here. Just go with Jones. John, Madison, or Miller? I think I go Miller, but it's very close. Miller should see better volume. Madison has the better matchup. Chuba or Dowdle for the RB2. Chuba's got the better matchup. I think Dowdle is a little bit safer. Very close. Gonna probably come down to if they score a touchdown or not. Jason, should I make any changes? Hurts, Connor, Jones, JJ Brown, Jonnu, BTJ. Falcons defense. Bates, a kicker. Probably not. I don't see the rest of your line, or yeah, but probably not. It's a great lineup. All right, we got this one. All right, so chat is repeating for me. Almost back. All right. Oh, Andrea Daniels or Kyler Daniels. I'm still starting Daniels if I got him, unless you have like Hurts or
Hurts.
Burrow,
Yeah, we've had Hurts Daniels a couple times.
Baker. Like the five guys in front of Jaden Daniels are probably the only guys I'd start over him. All right, Barbara, start one for the wide receiver, two spot, one for the flex. BTJ, Shakir, Reed, Spears, Westbrook. Yeah, I would just start Shakir and BTJ. Yeah. Start the Vikings defense, Titans, Jags, or Raiders.
The Vikings. I mean,
Probably the Vikings. I just like them a lot more if Sam Howell was going to be the quarterback, but
Geno not being able to move also
that's
helps
true.
a bit because Geno kind of needs his
Yeah.
legs to create. And the
And
weather
the weather.
helps. Like the weather
Yeah.
helps. Like they're not gonna drop. Minnesota can't stop the pass, and if it's hard to drop back and throw the ball, then
Yeah. Like I actually like the Colts defense theoretically more than the Titans, but I like them less because Will Levis not starting. I like the Raiders, I guess, more than the Jags. I don't trust the Jags after last week. They've done some okay stuff. But then like O'Connell starting, if Ritter was starting, I would be okay with the Jags actually. But yeah, I just go Vikings. Just go Vikings. Kendra Miller, Addison. I'm going Addison personally. I'll go Kendra Miller over Swift though. I think. I don't really feel like I want Swift in my lineup this week, but he was a negated touchdown away from a double-digit performance this past week. Detroit's front seven is banged up, but he has had one double-digit game since week 10. But like I said, the touchdown got called back against the Vikings this past week, and he was actually pretty solid against the Vikings, 79 yards on the ground. 4.1 yards per carry is not bad against that Vikings defense.
maybe they shouldn't have been cheating, and he would have had his touchdown.
Probably. And Roshan Johnson's still hurt. Travis Homer is hurt. So Ian Wheeler's on IR. Darrington Evans out of Appalachian State is your next man up. So it'll probably be all Swift. I think I go Swift. They're at home. Detroit's banged up. Give me Swifty. Give me the Swifty. Chris, semifinals. Flex needed. Tracy, Judy, Miller, Spears, Ridley, or McMillan. Okay, so Ridley for a floor. Judy, if you're comfortable with it. I don't know that I am a DTR quarterback. McMillan, if you want an upside play. Some good options there. Maurice, what's going on? Need one quarterback that may throw for a lot of yards. Goff, Stafford, Darnold. once again, it gets so like nitty gritty with these types of, quarterback calls. Goff's going to be in the cold. Darnold's going to be in the cold rain. It's probably Stafford for me. But Goff and Darnold, I think, have more upside. It's just like they're risky. Very close there, but I think I'll take the floor with Stafford, but it could go any way here. Anyway. Which three running backs to start? A-Chain, Bucky, Barkley, Kyron. I mean, you're not making a bad start here. Why do I kind of want to bench Kyron out of this bunch?
I don't know, because cold Jets. I don't know. Jets front defense is bad.
I mean, you're not making a bad start. I don't know that I bench Bucky due to the matchup. I would not bench Barkley no matter what. Like, I'm just, please. I know what he finally had his first bad game, and now people are like, I don't know, it's the playoffs. Please just don't. Same reason you didn't bench Henry right when he goes off. So, oh, it's close. Because A-Chain's been on fire. I think I would. And San Francisco's run defense is so bad. I think I bench Kyron, but he could outscore these running backs.
This is a good problem to have.
It is a good problem, and like that's the thing is, there's not going to be a bad start. And the Jets have given up the fewest fantasy points out of these three matchups. So I guess Kyron, but if Kyron has 20 points, I'm not going to be surprised. I mean, you're not making a bad start. Jason, okay, here's your bench. Got this one earlier. So Goff, Kittle, Jennings, Devonta, Colts. I would start Atlanta over the Colts defense. Kittle versus Jonnu's really close. Really close. And I think the better matchup lies with Kittle. Let's see. Miami's 14th. San Francisco's second against tight ends. But Waddle's out. Like I still like Jonnu a lot this week. But if you wanted to swap those two, that's probably the only thing I'd look at here. Connor, Jones, JJ, AJ Brown, BTJ. I think these are all the right calls. I still like Devonta, but yeah. I'm definitely starting Hurts. I like Atlanta over the Colts. Orac, good to see you. What's up? Chris, we got this one earlier, but he added if Pollard is out. Yeah. I could see a big game in line for Spears if Pollard's out, but I probably would go with Ridley or McMillan or Judy. There's like arguments for a lot of these guys. Full PPR, Daniels or Love, Daniels. But once again, it's nice to know. But if it's just quarterbacks, full PPR, half PPR doesn't matter. But yeah, I go Daniels still. Orac, we need a wide receiver, running back, and a flex. Mooney, McLaurin, Dobbs, Thielen, Kenneth, Charbs, Tracy Spears. I will start McLaurin and Thielen for wide receiver and flex. Running back, I think you could go Spears if Pollard's out. If not, probably Kenneth Walker. Tyler, you are welcome. Orac, any prop bets this weekend? I will say the books are going pretty hard on the odds this week for like touchdown scores. It feels like they're expecting some touchdowns this weekend. I did go through and bookmark my favorite touchdown scores, which, sorry, FanDuel always takes like forever to log in. But the odds are not very good this week, which may sway you from not making as many bets, but I have got Jamar Chase. Sorry. Oh my gosh, this app. Jamar Chase, James Conner, James Cook, Bijan, JT, Gibbs, A-Chain, Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs. But like Jacobs is negative 290, Gibbs is negative 310, Bijan's negative 230, Connor's negative 195. But yeah. That's who I got. Chase, Connor, Cook, Bijan, Taylor, Gibbs, A-Chain, Bucky, Jacobs. It almost feels a little too good to be true with a lot
Yeah.
of those. J-Dubs is in the house.
Oh.
What's up, buddy? Why are you drunk? D Smith J O E Thielen. I'm going Smitty, bro Chacho. Sorry, Devonta Smith or Thielen. Smith for me. AJ Brown or BTJ, Rico or Kendre. Wow. AJ Brown, BTJ is close, man. AJ Brown for the 4, BTJ for upside. Good
Again,
problem.
this is like the week, like dog week. Do we roll with our dog AJ Brown with
Yeah.
a
But
young pup?
BTJ's kind of been
He's a
the
young
dog
pup.
this
He's got
year.
to you got to prove that you don't get dog status your rookie year. You young pup.
Sure. Oh, that is. You know what? We don't have a poll up.
I wish that.
Let's take it to the poll. Who? Yeah.
Why can't the Eagles throw the football like a normal team?
Well, they can.
They don't. They had. It's like they. So yeah.
And then when they
all
do,
the drama. When it's all the drama, yeah, we'll throw the football.
And when they do,
They win.
Saquon has not as good of a game.
Good rest, Saquon. He needs rest.
Yeah, actually, that was probably, a good call. So Washington is 19th against the position, or BTJ versus Las Vegas Raider. Whoa, I messed something up. Oh my gosh. Okay, fixed it. The Raiders are like, I should have it. Yeah, they're 11th against wide receivers. So that's that. I think that's a close one. But yeah, kind of like my mind does gravitate towards AJ Brown here, but BTJ's been balling.
Yeah.
Rico or Kendre? I'll go Rico.
Rico.
Rich or Penix? Oh,
I can't start Penix in his first start. As much as
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be better, it's way too as much as a risk as Anthony Richardson is. Like I know Anthony Richardson can play football some weeks.
Yeah.
Penix could be a disaster. I don't think he will be, but it's just way too risky in this spot.
Yeah. Agree. And I'm trying to look here. Oh, why can't I find the Giants on my
Rankings.
Okay, so Giants are 25th against quarterbacks. Not too bad. They're 4th against tight ends. They have moved back against receivers, apparently. 14th against receivers, not bad. And then they are 26 against running backs, so kind of mix and match, but they are okay against receivers and tight ends, if anyone cares. All right, Purdy or JD5? I'm going JD5. Going JD5, but it's very close, I think. Not really. I'm going JD5. Kendre Miller or Ford with DTR starting. Yeah. Waiver wire champs right here. I think I'm going Ford, but it's a total coin flip. Could go either way there. That's tough, J-Dubs. Shakir or Smith? Smith by a hair, but I like both a lot this week. Joseph, what's going on? Standard League with 1.5 point reception to tight ends only. Choose two, Ford, ETN, or Gasecki. ETN for sure. Gasecki's interesting this week. Like it's a good matchup, and the format here makes it more intriguing. But I'm not starting Gasecki. I just can't do it. I can't. I'll go with the running backs here. I can't do that. Big Mac, Brees or JT, Drake or Reek, ATL or Minnesota defense. JT Brees is so close, but I think I go JT because the Jets are passing first before they run. I go JT, but it's very close. It could go either way. Drake London for the floor, Hill for upside, but more risk. And I will go Atlanta over Minnesota. I think they have a bit more upside. Close calls. Mixed by Siebes. Pollard or Watson? I mean, we got to find out if Pollard's even going to play. But overall, I might lean Watson. Should have flex worthy. Now I'm down to two options, Tracy or Patrick Taylor. I'll take Patrick Taylor due to the matchup. Need to bench one in a PPR league. Bucky or Connor? Thanks and Merry Christmas to you. That's about as close of a call as you'll get this week. I'll take James Conner by a hair. Slightly better matchup. Not a huge difference in the matchups there. Connor's coming off a huge game. I mean, I know Bucky had a really good game. If he had just scored, it'd be close. I'll go Connor by a slim margin, and I think both are going to have great games. Both in the must-start video, I think. BTJ or Tyreek? Oh, just give me BTJ. Just give me BTJ. Oh, we're almost at the bottom of the chat. Nice. All right, so we got this one. Need a quarterback, Burrow, Mayfield, or Goff.
Mayfield.
Baker.
Or maybe Burrow.
Yeah, Burrow, Baker's it's not Goff this week, but
no, not Burrow or Baker.
Yeah, it's.
I'm unsold now. I'm unsold. I'm doubting myself now after I said it so.
Well,
convinced.
Both are in a great spot. Like both are in it's good matchups. They're both playing for playoff implications. It's a little bit more desperate for the Bengals. Like if they're down 2 scores, I mean that defense is bad enough. Like they're just going to be like what we saw against Dallas. Like,
yeah,
they're just
fly.
tossing it up there to chase. So it's definitely close. But I still kind of lean Baker. But it's a great start no matter what between those two. I think both are going to have very good weeks. So try not to overthink it. I know Goff's coming off the huge game, but he's my least favorite out of this bunch. I will go DJ Moore in the flex. Good matchup for him. I'll take DJ Moore. Donut. McMillan or Neighbors? I'm probably still going Neighbors if I got him. Good matchup. They're going to need to throw. I do like McMillan, though, but I'll go Neighbors. Ford didn't have less than 6 targets last year at DTR, so I'll go Ford over Kendre. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Check down King.
Yeah, he was more involved in the pass game last year for sure. Stafford or Penix? I'm going Stafford. I'm going Stafford.
Actually, a good
I'm not starting a rookie quarterback in his first start in the semifinals. And if you're
versus a future Hall of Famer who's been playing really good.
You have to be desperate.
Yeah.
In a super flex league.
The Anthony Richardson, Michael Penix was a legitimate, that's a good, oh man, I can't play Anthony Richardson, but you kind of have to at this point.
The ops are starting Josh Allen.
R.I.P.
It's still Stafford. It's Stafford. Take the floor. Like I said earlier, sometimes you feel like you want the upside. Sometimes you just need the floor. I'm taking Stafford. Hurts or Burrow? No, that's a tough. probably Hurts
Hurts with the rushing upside.
rushing upside. Yeah, but I think literally
They're close.
they're like
Aren't they right next to each other? Burrow might have went
yeah,
past Hurts.
Hurts is QB3, Burrow is QB4. Percent. But it is a great matchup.
He dropped out. Bizarre.
Oh. All right, we got Pete back. We both got bounced for a minute there.
Oh, there. I thought it was just me. It was like just crashed on us.
No, it was weird. Yeah, I'd probably go Kyron here, but I would still argue that Tyreek Hill probably has the flex or has the upside. But I think I'd take Kyron. Anthony Richardson, May or Aiden O'Connell? That's a question right there, Eric.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, Drake May is going to need to throw the football this weekend. The Bills' secondaries looked bad, to say the least.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. O'Connell has a good matchup, looked good in his last start, and Richardson. I mean, we're a little I just think Richardson's risky, but when we do look at it, right, like 16 points this past week, 23 in week 13, not a good game in week 12, 28 in week 11. So like he has been okay as of late. And it is not a bad matchup against Tennessee. This might be the first one where I kind of lean Richardson, but I think O'Connell has a good floor. O'Connell for the floor, A Rich for upside. I don't think I'm starting Drake May. I just don't. That's a toughie though. Stafford or Purdy? How do you guys out there feel about Purdy?
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
If it was a better matchup, I think I'd show some faith, but the Dolphins' pass defense has been pretty dang good. I think I'll go Stafford. PJ ready to shine. I mean, sure, but it's just like it's too risky. You know, if it was like week 11, maybe week 7, maybe, but week 16, I ain't doing it. I hope he plays well. Don't get me wrong. I love to see the Falcons offense look better and Michael Ball and all this stuff, you know, but I just am not risking it when it comes to fantasy football. You know,
it's the semifinals of the championship, guys. This is fun
Yeah.
in week 8. This is fun in week 8 or week 7. Like I
and
know,
that's the thing.
yeah, like risking it for the biscuit wins it, but it's like you just gotta be with your guys.
I know how a lot of fantasy content works. There's somebody out there talking about Michael Penix Jr. I know there is, right? But you can't get cute. You just can't. Like, you know, not in week 16. You know, maybe you can pick up Michael Penix. That's fine, but don't start him. You know, and I think he could have a good game. Don't get me wrong, but is he going to have this? I don't think he's going to have this game that's just going to like light it up. You know, I guess Commanders next week. It's not awful, but what is like the best rookie quarterback fantasy start? I don't know if this is even gonna I don't know if this is even gonna come up for me. But
Herbert's
like,
probably got a good a good one in there. He probably has like
well, I don't even mean
just like from a fantasy story. He probably has like a 303 touchdown game as a rookie.
Well, I don't even mean like their very first start.
Oh, like game.
You know,
yeah,
like Herbert's first game was 23 points. That's pretty damn good.
It's probably about as good as you're gonna get.
Yeah, which
he didn't know he was starting. That's why it was so good.
Yeah, that's the game he got.
Tyrod got stabbed by the doctor.
It was against the Chiefs too. 2020. Um, yeah. So okay. I mean that didn't really help the argument, but you know what I'm saying. You know, uh, I mean all the weapons are there, but all the weapons were there for Kirk, I guess too. I don't know. It's just it's too risky. It's too risky. James, you're welcome. Glitched out. How do you think Pollard will do?
Good if he plays.
It's a good matchup. I think he'll be fine if he plays. There's a chance he doesn't play, but we probably will see a little bit more involvement out of Spears, like we saw last week. Although Spears didn't do a ton on the ground, it was mostly through the air. He did take that one goal line touch away that was valuable. Scored a touchdown on it, but I think Pollard will be fine. We'll see. Gonna hurt on the inside if Penix puts up 30. Penix is not gonna I would bet money like that he will not put up 30 fantasy points this week, and I think that's very fair to say. Um, I I wonder what his lines if they're even so underdog has him up. They don't have they do 16.5 fantasy points is his line. So betting on 30, I mean the books aren't
He has
necessarily
he has Bijan Robinson on his team, guys. Like Bijan will score some,
yeah.
like he'll get the touchdowns if they're in
That's
the
the
red
thing.
area. It's not going to be
The
like
better
5
matchup
Penix touchdowns
in this game is the running back versus this defense. So, yeah, I mean, it's just I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
And he can't run. Like Penix is not that mobile. He's more mobile than Kirk Cousins, but I'm more mobile than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am, but it's like I do not. Quarterback is one position that it's like what position are you in that you have to start Michael Penix this
Like Geno,
weekend?
like maybe you had like it's like a 16 teamer and you have like Geno as your quarterback or something.
Yeah.
And you gotta, he's banged up. Anthony Richardson's, but I'm still starting Richardson.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Start him over Stafford and Love. Good luck. Good luck. I hope it works out. I survived and put up 170 with Stafford putting up 8. That's why I've been considering it. Trade away Lamar earlier for Evans, Devontae, and Pollard. Is this Michael Penix we're still talking about? Okay,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. I would probably just play Stafford personally would be my advice. But we shall see. Trust your gut. Yeah, I wonder what was because Jaden Daniels' first start against the
Was
Bucks.
awful against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, they.
I mean, maybe he had a garbage touchdown late.
No, it's right. He had 28. He had 28. Maybe Jaden Daniels is the best the first start for a rookie quarterback. That's a good call.
60 because he had the rushing yards. What do you have, like 80 yards rushing?
That's right. He didn't do he barely threw the football in that game, but he was big on the ground.
Which Penix is not, so that's like a good counteract. Jay Daniels played running back. Jay Daniels played running back week 1, guys.
He basically did. It was just him and B Rob in that game.
Man, they've come far. It was looking real bad real quick for Washington.
They kind of to get their feet a little wet. 14 man. I lost Godwin midseason went hero running back. That's why I did the trade. My opponent has the rookie running back for the Saints and Green Bay's defense. I'm tempted to play Watson over Pollard for the Monday night final. I mean, I think Watson has a lot of upside, but a lot of risk. I mean, that's just Watson every week, So, I mean, I think Kendre will be startable, and I think Green Bay's defense has a lot of upside. So, I'll still say Pollard for the floor. Watson has the upside. Adunze, McMillan, Coker, Spears. Start 2. I go McMillan. I probably, if Pollard's out, is definitely Spears. If not, it's really a toss up between the rest of the bunch here. You never know what you're going to get out of Adunze. Not a bad matchup. Coker, startable, but I think I'd risk Adunze over Coker. You take that big touchdown away, Coker did like nothing. I think I lean McMillan and maybe Spears, if not Adunze. Indy or Cincinnati? I lean Cincinnati. I liked Indy more when Will Levis was going to be the quarterback. Penix or Tom Brady? This is the time of the season where if you have a free bench spot, pick up Tom Brady just for morale.
Championship pedigree right there.
Yeah, just leave him on your bench, So senior year in college, he had 10 rushing touchdowns on 37 attempts, almost 500 yards. Penix?
No, that's got to be Jaden Daniels.
And also,
or maybe Penix did not run at all at Washington. Jaden Daniels had over 1,000, I think.
Yeah.
Penix has bad knees, guys. He can move, but he ain't moving like that. He used to be a runner.
High school. In high school, not college. We keep bouncing.
Yeah, what's going on? I think it's Streamlabs over here.
Yeah. That was high school. I think it's just Michael Penix. Well,
Michael Penix used to be a runner, guys, and he had 2 knee surgeries. Michael Penix had 35 attempts for 8 yards his senior year.
But also, all these guys were ballers in high school. That's why they played college football. They made it to the NFL. But that is crazy.
Penix burst onto the scene as like a young Mike Vick, but then he blew out both his knees, and so they don't move so good anymore.
We shall see. All right, Bijan, Patrick Taylor, or Pollard, Evans, Devontae, McBride, J-Mo, or Shakir. So we're starting Bijan, Evans, Devontae, McBride. Okay. Pollard, if he plays for LaFleur, I think I still lean Pollard over Patrick Taylor just because he's been more, has done more on the season, right? I think I go Shakir over J-Mo, but it's close between those two. But I think I go Shakir. Rest of the lineup looks very solid. London Neighbors Cup, Marvin Harrison Jr., Lad McConkey.
Well,
lots of good options. Well, did you already play Lad or not? Because if not, then you're not playing him.
He didn't have a good week anyway, so you're fine.
Oh, this is close. I'm starting Cup. I know Cup had the bad game. I am still playing Cup if I got him. And London or Neighbors. I guess it's those two. And there's like London, Neighbors, Garrett Wilson. Like these guys are so close for me this week. Whoever you feel better about between London and Neighbors. Neighbors has the better matchup for what it's worth. Kirk was definitely throwing some ducks out there. Where is Kirk Cousins going to be next year?
Minnesota for $1 million. If JJ McCarthy's not there and Sam Darnold left for $60 million a year.
Could be. I think Tennessee is the highest odds, which would just be. I think it would be such a bad. I'd rather him just retire right now than go to Tennessee. But I mean, where else is there really to go? I think the Colts are up there too. And the Colts do like to sign these kind of veteran dying quarterbacks. we'll see. I would like to see Kirk land on his feet, but he just does not look the same.
I'm just mad that the Vikings didn't get to retire him. Very
Yeah.
upset. I wanted us to be the last team. We made him quit football.
Yeah. It does feel like the Vikings have a pretty good passing scheme and good receivers.
Who could have guessed? Ever? Who could have guessed? Shocker.
Gray has Kendra Dowdle or Kenneth. I'm going Dowdle here. I'll just take. I think he's the safest. Give me Dowdle. I do think Kenneth could have a good game. I think Kendra could have a good game, but I go Dowdle. Darnold or Purdy? I mean, overall, like I do like Darnold on the season the best, but this week I might go Purdy. You have to ask yourself, does the weather worry you or not? The weather, the worst weather game this week is going to be the Vikings and the Seahawks. And I really think that's the only bad weather game. There were some questions
There's
about,
cold games, but there ain't.
yeah,
There ain't. There ain't. I'm at like a 9.5 on the weather concern, guys. I think this game could be
yeah,
16-13. Or Minnesota's just the best team in the conference, and they score another 28 points, 27 points.
yeah. There's gonna be like some sprinkles at the Saints, Packers, Niners, Dolphins, but I think, yeah, that's it. I mean, all the other games are clear, but I mean, it is cold all around the world. Well, maybe not the world, but all around the United States, it is cold. So this is close though. This is close. Happy PR Cup, London, McLaurin, Bucky, bench one. Ooh. I'm not benching Bucky in Happy PR. You want to look for touchdown upside here, and I mean, all these guys, I think you can argue have it. McLaurin's got the worst matchup. London's got a rookie quarterback. Cup's coming off a bad game. Oh gosh. Whichever one of those scenarios makes you feel the worst. But I think they're all still solid starts. I mean, this is a good problem. Maybe I bench McLaurin here just due to the matchup. But that's close. I think Cup and Strange will do tomorrow. I think Cup will be much better than this past week. I'm not too worried about the Jets secondary. And I think Strange will be solid due to the matchup. Kirk might come to Nashville, but I don't want him. I want Darnold.
Darnold's not going to a loser franchise. Darnold is either playing for a team that wins or the Vikings next year. Not the Titans, not the Giants. It'll be like the Vikings or the Colts.
I could see Darnold getting offered just a ridiculous contract and taking it.
I don't think so. I don't think he's
But
already gotten paid. He was a top 3 pick. So he's
do
going to take
feel
a
like-
competitive offer to a competitive team.
I feel like the Titans are the team that nobody wants to go to, though.
Bro, yeah, like he's been on the Jets and the Panthers. There's no universe he's going to another terrible, dysfunctional organization. He's going to somebody good.
And I think the Titans will end up doing like a Russell Wilson type deal with whoever's.
They're going to fire
Kirk.
Brian Callahan's getting fired. He's a horrible head coach. So
Yeah. I mean, there's some players on this team. Nick Westbrook-Akine is on the Titans. You know, that makes things attractive. I mean, Ridley's there, but yeah, who else is going to be? I mean, Purdy's getting re-signed, but I guess Russell will be. He might get re-signed. Let's see. So Darnold. Wow, there's not a lot. James Winston. Mac Jones. Mason Rudolph. So yeah, the Titans will definitely be in the market. Wow, it's not a big year for quarterbacks. Unless I'm looking at this wrong.
No, I don't think it is a big year for quarterbacks. Okay. Sam Darnold is Daniel Jones, baby. Dated dimes.
Nah, the Vikings they're keeping him. Wow, it's a really bad year. That's right, because Purdy's not even technically like it's just time for him to get paid, but he's got
one more year left.
Yeah, because it's literally Tommy DeVito, Russell Wilson, Brandon Allen, Cooper Rush.
Yeah, what's Minshew? Like, what about Minshew? he under multi-year? Yeah, I guess so. Him and
Yeah,
Flacco.
literally Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke, Mariota, Drew Lock, Andy Dalton, Fields, Flacco, Wentz,
Fields. There we go.
Garoppolo, Easton Stick. It's a bad list. Wow. So yeah, Sam Darnold is definitely getting paid. And yeah, Cousins is gonna get cut, so he'll be in the mix. Um yeah. So those two and Russell Wilson. And I'm gonna argue Cooper Rush.
Yeah, somebody will pay Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Probably Jerry Jones, because
I mean, yeah, sure.
Jerry Jones.
Almost all these guys will get paid in some sense, one way or another, even if they're on the practice squad. But yeah, you got to imagine that Cousins, Darnold, and Russell Wilson are going to be at the top. And there's a lot of rumors that the Steelers might re-sign Russell Wilson. So
That was
we
looking
shall.
really good until that pick six today.
Yeah, yeah.
They could sign Sam Darnold. I could see Sam Darnold in Pittsburgh.
That's interesting.
That's a team that needs to win now.
Honestly,
and that's
I feel like the best place for Darnold to be
is Minnesota. Duh. Just
Minnesota.
stay in Minnesota. Just get franchise tagged for a year.
Yeah. Blizzard, what's up? Would you start Jennings or Strange? I'd still go Jennings over Strange. Chef, JD5 is my quarterback. It doesn't really change anything for me. It's just a tough call. Because you got four really good players, but I might bench McLaurin due to the matchup, but any of those receivers could outscore each other at half PPR. You're really looking for the touchdown upside. Angel, 2 running backs to start, Taylor, Miller, or Pollard. Maybe Pollard just doesn't play and it solves your issue. I probably would start Pollard if he's healthy, and then probably Patrick Taylor. I just worry Kendre Miller is going to get game scripted out. Pollard, DK, Judy, Tracy, Kendre Miller. We only start one. I'd probably just risk it for the biscuit and play DK. But I think it's Judy or DK for me. Judy, DK, Pollard, Kendre, Tracy in that order. I think Jacoby Myers will do. He'll be fine. He'll be solid. Great matchup. Should be better with O'Connell at quarterback. This is my safety, sir. Pick 3. Brown, A-Chain, Bucky, Bijan. Whew. This is a problem when you draft 2 solid running backs and then you get 2 solid running backs off the waivers. You can't go wrong here. There's no bad start here. These are all must-start players. Create a 4-sided die with their names on it and roll it. Whoever lands on it, don't start them. There's just no wrong or right answer there. Yeah, Fields will be a free agent. Maybe he'll go to Tennessee. Slatton, it's my Bijan, A-Chain Rico against his Saquon, Connor, and Irving. Y'all think I got this? I mean, you never know. It depends on the rest of the lineup, but
doesn't feel great. Yeah, it doesn't feel great.
I mean, I think Bijan and A-Chain can actually match Saquon and Connor, but I'll take Bucky over Rico.
Yeah.
But
Connor's probably the wild card in this one. Like, if Connor has like a good game like he should, you're in trouble. But, I've seen the Cardinals not do anything.
Yeah. You never know. The Panthers have had these random weeks where, like, they also are
the best team in football. Yeah, the best team in football.
So, close. But it depends on the rest of your lineup. And you just never know. Never know. Eric, Richard Jones. I'll still go Richardson over Jones. Because I know Jones has had like the 2 solid games, but just don't forget the game in between. I mean, you're looking at 20 points, 7 points, 20 points. So I would just take A-Rich. Murray or Love? Love for the safer floor. Kyler for the upside. B-Rob, Walker, or Ramondre. I would just start B-Rob. I know the matchup's not great, but he was good against the Eagles the last time they played. I put them in this order. B-Rob, Kenneth, Ramondre. Is it safe to start Thielen? I don't know if anything's safe anymore in fantasy, but Thielen should be solid. He's had double digits in each of the last 3 starts. I think he's solid this week. Taylor, what's up, man? Judy or Rashad? You know me, I'm going Rashad White, and honestly, if it was Winston at quarterback, I would go Judy. But I really like Rashad White this week against the Cowboys. I won't be surprised if Judy outscores him. I won't be surprised if White outscores Judy. I think the safer floor is with Rashad White. But it's not a bad matchup for Judy. I just don't know what to expect with DTR at quarterback. Tough. Rooting for you, Latin. And Shakir, JT Dowdle start 2. I'd probably bench Dowdle. Worst matchup out of this bunch. I definitely start Shakir, and I think I still lean JT over Dowdle. Dowdle's still very startable, but I also think the Cowboys will need to throw a bit more in this game as opposed to run. You're welcome, Eric. We're happy to help. You are welcome. This is my safety, sir. Carey, Tua, Rodgers. Ooh. Rodgers has the better matchup. Rodgers for a floor, but I still think the upside is with Tua. I mean, Tua's just coming off a bad game, and I think that's what has a lot of people concerned. So it's close. Definitely close. Trust your gut. All right, guys, we're to the bottom of the chat. We're over 2 hours, so we'll go ahead and wrap up here. We have plenty of content out on the week. I know some things have changed throughout the week, but we have our normal schedule out for you guys. Early waiver video, must-start defenses, start sits for wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, and tight ends. Pete's kicker rankings. He did every kicker this week. Must-start players, sneaky starts and streams, and last-minute waivers are all out, and I will get a video out in the morning for you guys as well. So we'll run through a couple more questions, then we will get out of here. Full lineup is Burrow, Bijan, A-Chain, CD, London, Rico, and Strange. His is Hurts, Saquon, Connor, Evans, Jennings, Tucker, Irving. I do think it's pretty close here. I think it's pretty close. But his running back slightly. I mean, that's the thing. If you're in week 16, it's going to be close. Try not to think too hard about it. Set your best lineup and try not to stress. Carrie, you're welcome. It's my safety, sir. Is Cooper Rush streamable? He's definitely streamable. Yeah. Tampa Bay's giving up a lot of fantasy points to quarterbacks. He was in the sneaky starts and streams when I went over quarterbacks. Tampa Bay's 31st against quarterbacks. He's streamable. CJ, Ford, Jennings, Dowdle, sit 1. I'd probably set Ford. If I lose, I may be retiring. All right, we'll see you in August, buddy. 3 years, first seed, 3 years straight, and losing the second round. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
at least get to the championship. That's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, actually, being the first seed 3 years straight and getting the playoffs is still very good. I mean, fantasy comes down to a lot of luck, a lot of stuff that's out of it's just out of your control.
It takes skill to get, like, you can argue skill over luck in the regular season. When it comes to the play, like a playoff or championship run, you're throwing the dice.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it just is what it is. You know, you can't overthink it. And I would encourage you guys just to get in more leagues. That a lot of it fantasy football is a lot more frustrating when you only play in like 1 or 2 leagues, 2 or 3 leagues, because then you really hone in on like these exact scenarios that happen in this one league. Like, literally, I mean, I know I'm kind of out of the norm because this is like my full-time job, but I'm in 17 leagues and, you know, I had like $1,500 in best ball teams, and it's like, you don't need to go that far, but I just have no stress this time of year, you know, because I have a higher probability of making it in one league, I guess. You know,
Well,
when I lose, it's just
my team's gonna be good.
Yeah, one of these teams is gonna be good, right? But yeah, I mean, if you just get in a couple more leagues, you know, it kind of makes the frustration go down. But once again, being the number 1 seed and going to the playoffs 3 years in a row is Trust me, there's people out there who are like, oh, I wish I was doing that. But once again, the regular season does not matter. It if you're the number one seed, I hate to say it, but it doesn't really mean anything. Uh, you just gotta get a ticket to the ship, you know. So those teams that are lower seeds can have better luck in the playoffs, and sometimes it's about the right teams getting hot. You know, like the Bucks right now, Bengals, like they're these teams that are in like must-win scenarios. The Bills because they're
Buffalo,
still
yeah, I was gonna say they're going
they're
nuclear.
technically yeah they're chasing Kansas City still. That margin is very slim and slimmer. But like if the Chiefs lose on Christmas Day, for example, like the Bills can still catch them. So stuff like that. How's Bucky going to do? Bucky's a must start. Should be absolutely fantastic. Andrew, have a good night. Merry Christmas to you. If I don't talk to you beforehand. Would you start Spears if Pollard is out over Rico? I would say Rico's the floor. Pollard, or excuse me, Spears is the upside play in that scenario. Christian bench Zay and Mahomes. Got Goff, Chase Brown, Bucky, T, Shakir, Kittle, Myers, Chiefs defense, Bates. This is still a very good lineup. I would have overall, I'd lean Mahomes over Goff here, but especially with him coming off the injury, I could see why you went Goff and Goff coming off the big game, but tough call. Zay Jones, I can see why he got benched here. Shakir, Myers, T. Higgins. You still have a very good lineup. Mason have to start 3 and bench 3. Taylor, Etienne, Ramondre, Kendre, Spears, Watson. I mean, this could go any direction. I go Etienne, Spears if Pollard is out. And I'd probably throw Christian Watson in there for the upside. But if not, then it's Patrick Taylor, Etienne, Watson. The dilemma, says Danny, Goff in cold weather or Darnold in the rain. Yeah, we've talked about this throughout the night. I'll say the floors with Goff, the upsides with Darnold. But obviously there's issues on both scenarios here. It's definitely a dilemma. Ron, need a flex. Hawkinson, Metcalf, or Kendre. This is a good point that hasn't come up tonight. Jamal Williams will probably get some sort of volume for the Saints. Something. I'm going Metcalf. It's so risky. I'll say Kendre for the floor, Metcalf for the risk, but the upside. Very close. I would say Hawkinson's the odd man out here. London or Shakir or McMillan. Oh gosh, that's really. I want to say Shakir, but I still think London's got to be in consideration. I mean, how does London change with the quarterback change is the big question. But the safest play is probably Shakir. But I still like London, and I still think McMillan is a good start. Ron says he also has Strange. I probably wouldn't start him over the guys he listed. Even a tight end premium. Nah, I don't think I'd go that far over the running backs or receivers. All right, guys, that should do it for the night. So make sure you guys hit the like on the way out. We'll wrap up here. Christian was first place 70-80% of the season, lost weeks 12 and 13, going up against the first seed regular season. Here we are, 1-1, neck to neck in projections. You just never know. Any given Sunday. All right, guys, we'll wrap up here. Pete, I'll let you say bye. We'll bounce.
All right. Good luck, everybody, tomorrow. Hopefully you win your playoff games unless you're playing me. I hope you lose by 50. No problems. And then we'll be back. Holidays don't matter. We're still going to have content out for you guys for the championships and those, who are trying to win their toilet bowl. So, yeah, be sure to check out all the videos if you got any questions about that stuff. And we'll see y'all tomorrow night. We got videos for you guys.
Yeah, we're running it back for week 17, championship week. And if you guys are crazy and playing week 18, we'll have some content week 18 for you guys as well. And we'll be doing some stuff throughout the real life playoffs and leading up to the Super Bowl. And then we'll hop into the dynasty stuff for the year. I think the Bills game's going to go. I think the Bills are going to light up the Patriots.
Bills by a million.
Yeah, they're going to have a big day. Any Bills players viable to start. And I don't really know about the Patriots. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for asking us fantasy questions and letting us potentially help you guys. Good luck to everybody in week 16. Hope you guys all dominate and make it to the fantasy championship. We are rooting for you guys. Don't forget to trust your gut this time of year. We're going to lay out the stats, the matchups, our personal opinions, but make sure you guys trust your gut when it comes to setting your lineup because, like we've talked about, it's any given Sunday. You never know what's going to happen. So good luck to you guys, rooting for you guys, and that'll do it for the night. So with that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch